Hi everyone, and welcome back to Speak Like a Leader. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about my experience in teaching business English. And I want more specifically to talk about 3 common mistakes that students are making, and it's not helping them advance their English as fast as it could. And because I know there are many of you out there who are interested in starting English lessons or who are already paying for English lessons, let me tell you that this investment is an important investment, but it has to be made in the right way. Let me give you 3 examples to understand these 3 typical mistakes. The first mistake is made by a student, let's say her name is Anna. So Anna comes to a lesson, a conversation lesson. So what I usually do in this lesson is before the student arrives, I will send them some resources, either an article to read or a video to listen to. So when they come into the lesson, we can have a conversation on a specific topic. So Anna is the kind of person who likes to listen to her teacher. So she comes to the lesson and she's expecting me, the teacher, to talk about this topic. And the responses are very short. So she's kind of an introvert. And when I ask her something, it's a yes or no answer, expecting me to say more. And that's fine if you're looking for increasing your listening skills, your understanding. However, if you're not actively participating in a conversation, you're not voicing the language, you're not taking some risk to learn new vocabulary, to use this vocabulary so that you can then use it in a business context. Okay, so that's Anna. Let's go to another student who's also making a mistake. And this time it's going to be John. Okay, so John comes to the lesson and he does the exact opposite. So John has opinions about everything, and that's fantastic for the lesson, especially for a debate. But John is talking constantly. So talking constantly, trying to express his feelings, his emotions on the topic, not listening to what I have to say when I'm correcting him. So the biggest mistake here is don't talk too quickly and too much to a point that you're not listening to what the other person has to say. And this has 2 problems. The first problem is that when you're in a lesson, you're not actively listening and correcting your mistakes. And the second problem is that you're going to be doing that with your colleague, your partner, your client, and it's not very respectful either. Okay, so we need to maintain a balance between what Anna is doing and what John is doing. We need to, of course, actively voice our opinions, actively take some risk, try to introduce new vocabulary in this conversation, but also pause and actively listen to what your teacher has to say, or your partner, or your colleague, to also be able to respond accordingly. Okay, and let's go to mistake number 3. So what many students do is when the teacher corrects them, they say, yes, thank you for that correction, but that's not enough. There are 2 steps that you need to introduce that will absolutely help you to improve much faster. The first one is repeat the correct word or expression when you're corrected. So once the teacher says you use this word incorrectly, the correct word is this, repeat it. And the second step you need to take is to write it down. I can't stress how important it is to have a notebook next to you or your laptop open when you're having a lesson and noting down as much as you can. Now, many students ask me, would it be possible for you to note down my mistakes? Because probably you can do it faster than me and then I don't have to interrupt my thoughts. Now, the answer there is a little bit complicated. So many teachers are willing to do that, myself included, but it's not as helpful because when you are writing something down, you remember it. Many people believe that the process of writing is something from the past. I mean, even my kids tell me, why do we need to learn how to write since, ChatGPT or AI applications will do everything for us? But writing is very, very important in a learning process. When you write something down, you're actively thinking about it, and you're memorizing it. Your brain is remembering it. So the chances are much higher that you're going to remember a mistake that you made and correct it next time if you write it down, rather than if your teacher writes it down or you do nothing about it. Okay, so I've been teaching students from around the world, students from Europe, students from Africa, students from Asia, and everybody has their own learning style, and that's fantastic. But try to avoid these 3 common mistakes in order to see your English really improve much faster. And I'm going to leave you with a small little note here. I know that you're going to hate me for this, but homework is important. I actually tell my students that doing your homework is 50% of the lesson. And this is not because I want to punish you. This is not because, I want to push you into doing things that you don't like doing. But I've seen in my career that students who prepare before coming to the lesson improve much faster than students who just, come to the lesson and expect things to be taught to them. Okay, now what is very important from the side of the teacher is to give you homework that's interesting, fun, connected to areas of your interest, so you feel like doing it. So many of my students tell me that, the article you sent me was amazing. The video I watched, taught me so many new things. So it's our responsibility, obviously, to do all that, and then your responsibility to work on it before you arrive in a lesson. Okay, so I hope you found that helpful. If you feel like learning more about English and business English, feel free to subscribe to this channel for more business English vocabulary and expressions. Have a nice day.